All right. All right. That was Mr. Lonnie Liston Smith with a Girl of My Dreams. I love that. I love that song so much. And sorry I had it on mute and everything, but sometimes, rushing to do stuff. I'm rocking out with a white tee today, but no merch. Merch will be in next time I come on here. More merchandise and things. But anyway, here we go. We back. We live again. High and mighty thoughts with me, the intellectual Newman Mencares. We're going to be discussing a few things. I was letting people get in the chat room and everything. I want this cast to go down. I want this podcast to go down as the realest podcast on YouTube. That's what I want this to go down as. I don't have all, I don't do all the glitz and stuff. I like to just get to it, man. I don't like all of the, theatrics and stuff like that. I don't like all that. I like things to be organic. And, just like anything, reality, real truth, what I call reality, aka real truth, is organic. You see, it just is. And the world has too many lies in it, too many phony people in it, and people who not keeping it all the way, 100 with you, 1,000 with you, hell, a million with you, a billion with you, keep it all the way real. But what I realized over this time since I've been teaching MENTELLECT, that the truth is not for everybody. Reality is not for everybody. People are personality driven, right? People like theatrics. People like to be entertained. And that's fine if you have an entertaining sort of personality. I tend to be told I have what my wife tells me. One of my wives, she tells me I'm funny all the time. She says I could do stand-up if I wanted to. But after a few of these, maybe. But anyway, we're going to start. In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and in Amen we continue forward forever. All right. I'm going to be addressing a few topics. You know me, Newman Mencares. I'm going to have a surprise coming very soon. I'm going to start putting the links down for my Unlimited Epic series. I'm going to start selling openly to the public. I'm going to have, our books and whatnot. We hit the link and get the latest Unlimited Epic series and whatnot. We got a lot of new characters coming from a fledgling epic book company. I don't like to refer to my books as comic books because that to me is the wrong term to refer to these books as. These are adventure books or epic books. I like the term epic books first because, comics denotes, clownish stuff and, things that joke. I'm writing about, superheroes who having real adventures. And I'm taking a lot from everyday life, reality, and adding a bit of fantasy to it. So look out for the link to Unlimited Epics. You can go to Unlimited Epics right now and purchase my epic books that I wrote, characters I created. I held off on doing it because I wanted the link to be put there. And we redoing our site. Like the site we got up there now, I don't like. So we got a new site coming up, and we got all characters: Almighty Herc, the mysterious She-Fly, the Unstoppable Thug, and other characters to come. That still going through the trademark process on a lot of my characters I'm gonna come with, and we're gonna put it down like Marvel. We're gonna put it down like DC. We're gonna put it down even harder for Unlimited Epics. The name of the company is Unlimited. You know what I'm saying? But Epics is what we put out with me and lovely young lady who works with me, young, lovely, youthful lady, So she puts it in the, we work on it both together. And it was my idea, my intellectual property. So Unlimited Epics, you can go check the site out, purchase Herc 1 through 6. That's out currently, Herc 1 through 6. Unlimited Epics. The link should be down below. You can go and purchase Hercs 1 through 6. Only $6 a book. And then you got the Mysterious She-Fly 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3 actually. We got She Fly 1, 2, and 3 out. So it's 3 parts to She Fly. Book 4 is about to come out. And we got The Unstoppable Thug. Book 1 and 2 is out. 3 is about to come out. And like I said, we're going to drop some new characters. So, you know, and the Underlord Company, my clothing company, you know, redoing that site and whatnot. I'm so busy, you know. Like I said, I ain't even had time to panel my office. You see my office at my new home, it still looks, you know, like the walls ain't been done. It's because I'm trying to find people to do people that I feel, you know, can really do the work, because I'm paneling my whole house out, you know, in white and everything. It's a beautiful home and whatnot. I just moved in last year. Me and my wives and children. Yes, I got 2 wives, 4 children, 4 daughters, 2 wives, full of feminine energy all throughout my house. So, you know, me, I gotta be the, you know, the masculine overseer over all the feminine energy that's running around in my house. Soon my daughter's gonna be, they babies now, soon they're gonna be grown. So I'm gonna have 6 women in my house trying to run my house. Like 6 women trying to run my house. All right. So get ready for that. We'll be. Anyway, speaking of a woman, we're gonna be speaking about fossil found, the oldest woman, the oldest known American, you know, that archaeologists have found. The oldest American woman's bones have been found here. I want to say it's something part of Brazil or something part of, I forget what it is, but it's in America. So this person is counted as the first American because this is the oldest person found in America. And when they dug up this woman, right, her name is Luzia, right? And of course they figured that her being, you know, ancient, you know, people always taught that the indigenous people of this land are the so-called Native Americans of today, right? And, you know, a lot of people have accepted that as fact when it's not, when it is in fact not fact. It is in fact untrue. You know, when they dug up Luzia, people expected to see a like a mongoloid looking woman, an Asian, like a lot of these so-called Native Americans look today. People was expecting to see a mongoloid looking woman, right, with like Asian type features and straight, kinky, that's not straight, yeah, straight hair, straight hair, slanted features and whatnot. But to their surprise, to their chagrin, they found out that this, after putting the skin back on and reconstructing the face of this woman, Luzia, who you see in the thumbnail, after reconstructing her face, they found that she's a bronze woman, a so-called black woman, right? And boy, were they embarrassed. They put her face back together, how she looked, and she looked like a so-called black woman. She like somebody, like one of my aunts. And like I said, they kept putting the skull back. They got the genotype, phenotype. So now, and I don't hear nobody say anything about it. So now the oldest woman found here in America is a so-called black woman, an American indigenous woman, a bronze copper colored woman. So now, again, who are the real Americans? Please remind me who the real Americans are. Who are the real Americans? There should be no more argument after that. Because if they're going to say that this is the oldest fossil found, there's obviously fossils older than her that look like her, because she had to come from parents, right? She had to come from a mother and father. She ain't just fall out the sky. She had to come from a mother and father, didn't she? She had to come from a mother and father. She had to have pretty sure she had a man. Pretty sure she had children. I'm pretty sure, of course, she comes from a lineage, so she's not the oldest. Her parents, and going back, in other words, there's a lineage of our people here in America before the white man got here, who's a European. And I'm gonna double down on that. Before the white man got here, who was a European, before the Mongolians got here, who are Asian, who crossed the Bering Straits and ran from Genghis Khan or whoever they was running from, and they ran themselves right into the South and Central America. They came in, right, and they found our people here. You see, when Mel Gibson was talking about the early American, you know, indigenous people, I think that was the movie Apocalypto. He made all the natives look like I guess Latinos or some kind of stuff like that, you know. because that's what they do when they want to erase our history. They want to, because anything dealing with us, they want to call it African. Anything dealing with us anywhere, oh, those people can't be indigenous to America. They must have came from Africa and moved and came into America. Well, here's the question with that. And I've always wondered this. Why is it that when you were talking about the so-called Mongolian red Indians, the red so-called natives, they're not Indians, they're red natives, the red so-called Native Americans, how come nobody said, well, where did they come from? How come everybody just accepted that they just came from America? Why nobody didn't ask, well, where did these people come from? They didn't say. You could clearly see they're Asian. You could clearly see the people who would pass themselves off as Native Americans or whatever they call them today. You could clearly see these people have a strand of Asiatic or Asian blood to them, Asian genotype and phenotype. Now you got Caucasians who mixed in with them as well. And now they're claiming to be the Native Americans. They won't say they're the American Indians because that terminology has been passed out to the Hindus who are calling themselves American, who are calling themselves Indian Americans or American Indians. They call themselves Indian Americans now. Well, where are the American Indians? Because those are not the American Indians. The Hindus, those are East Indians. So those are not the American Indians. And these so-called natives are not the American Indians. So where are the American Indians at? Where are the American Indians at? When you look at all these statues, the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayan, which came after Luzia. So you see a line of people that were here in America. You see a line of people that were here in America. And you see the oldest people being so-called black people, bronze, copper-colored people. You see the Olmecs. Basically, we need to cut out the African crap. We need to stop the African-American crap. We need to stop the whole African connection. I said this before, and I'm saying this again. We have our own, based on what we've seen with Luzia, who's the oldest, we have our own origins here in America. We were here before everybody. We didn't come from any place else. This is our indigenous home. We did not come from Africa into America. Nobody brought us like damn furniture on a damn slave ship cargo, like we was just dumb, weak cargo that people just shipped us off and put us in chains and this, that, and the third. And again, I told you, that is pure nonsense. Like I said, the slave story and putting our people on slave ships and shipping on ships, that does have some sort of validity. But I told you, just take out the Africa part, take out the slave ship part. There was Indians or American indigenous people helping the so-called white man sell our people into slavery. In other words, the indigenous people, the indigenous Indians, so-called bronze, copper-colored people, black people, so-called black people, was selling each other into slavery. You had tribal wars going here, tribal beefs going here, and the so-called the Europeans that came, the European invaders, the immigrants, which is what white people are in America. The European immigrants who came here, they're not American. The European immigrants who came here then started to help the tribes, the indigenous tribes, in certain wars against other tribes. And they would capture these tribes in war, and then they would sell them over to the so-called white man. That's how slavery got started in America. Anybody telling you that they brought us on a slave ship, they're a damn lie. Anybody that's sitting here still telling that lying ass slave ship story, they're a lie. Don't trust them, man. Anybody still sitting here calling us black people in any way, shape, or form, don't trust these people, man. Because obviously there's a narrative that certain people want to keep going, aka a lie. Obviously it's a narrative and a lie that certain people want to keep going. And that is that they brought us here from someplace else. We was always here. Remember when that fool, Toronto Johnson, aka Tafarka Gay, remember when he was up here talking about, oh, I'm not saying it wasn't black people here in America, but you ain't those people. What the hell are you talking about? We are those people. We ain't never went nowhere. We was always here. Be mindful of these niggas who sit up here and try to tell us we came from someplace else. This is our home. Now they got you fools up here talking about going back to Africa when you never been to Africa. They got a lot of these so-called entertainers. I seen they had Dave Chappelle black ass up there talking about, oh, he was going to Africa. He went to Ghana and he will move to Africa and get out. That's hilarious coming from Dave Chappelle. You know, I used to like Dave Chappelle, but Dave Chappelle's a coon. He's a coon. How you gonna sit up here and talk about you going back to Africa and you ain't even got a black wife? Your wife is Asian. Shouldn't you go to Thailand or China where she from? Why don't you go run back to her country and see how they'll accept you there, or wherever part of Asia she from? How you gonna talk about going back to Africa, but you ain't got a black woman? That right there should make you go, make you scratch your head. How Dave Chappelle gonna go to him when he had a meltdown? He went to Africa and he had to get away and go to Africa for what? Why didn't you just go to your farm in Ohio? You ain't go to no damn, you fake ass. You ain't go to no, Dave Chappelle ain't go to no Africa. He just went to his farm in Ohio. He got a big farm in Ohio. He lived there around a bunch of white people. I bet why he wasn't ashamed to go live around a bunch of white people in Ohio. You see, and be the only so-called black person there. He got a lot of money and stuff. He's all putting money in the town. But then it's to save Dave Chappelle, from what I hear allegedly, when he heard about I guess some kind of housing and stuff being built for people who are low income, he's like mad about it. He didn't want no low income people, which probably means black. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want no black people living in the town. He happy living in the town, being the HNIC with money around a bunch of poor white trash. You see, he happy living around that. So Dave Chappelle wasn't going back to no goddamn Africa. You ain't from Africa. They getting a lot of these people to push this going back there. They even had Stevie Wonder talking about. Well, Stevie Wonder don't know where he at. Stevie Wonder wouldn't know if he was in Africa or Mars or the moon. Man can't see. Talking about Stevie Wonder wanting to go to Africa. What the hell difference does Stevie? What would Stevie Wonder care about Africa if he was in Africa or America? Stevie Wonder don't know about going to Ghana. They trying to get niggas the one-way ticket to Ghana. They really trying to get American indigenous people to go to Ghana. Are you serious? Have y'all seen Ghana? Have you seen Ghana? Why are you going someplace and believing people telling you that you African and that you need to go home to Africa? And then it's the so-called white man who's not even American. He got the nerve to tell somebody to leave America? He's not even American. He got the nerve to tell somebody to leave America and go back to Africa. The audacity. He gonna tell you to leave your country that you fought in every war for, that you slaved in, as American indigenous people, not as no black people, not as no African Americans, not as no Negro fake names they came up with to give you, to cheat you out of your land, steal from you, take things from you by force. You sitting up here and y'all buying into this. You got a lot of simple ass Negroes buying into this. We're gonna go back to Africa. You have to have been someplace before you go back to Africa. You have to have been there. You ain't never been there. You see, but you got a lot of ignorant people up here, talking about, I'm African American and whatnot. Jesse Jackson made that up in 1988. You know that, right? There was no African American, or that word didn't even exist. Those two words didn't even exist, which don't even make sense. Jesse Jackson made that up back in 1988 at the behest of his white paymasters who wanted to give you Negroes some sort of fake identity like they've been giving you for the last 200-300 years, some fake ass identity. Because they don't want to say that you're the real American Indians. They want to again, ask yourself the question. They talked about 5 civilized tribes, right, who they would accept as so-called Native American, which means that the people who they didn't consider civilized, meaning us, what about all those other Indian tribes out here? That, you know what that's like? Like right now, remember when they was like, when a lot of these Latinos, not a lot of them, but people like Fat Joe and this guy Derek Colon, whatever the guy named Derek Colon, whatever his name is, they start trying to tell this lie that Latinos are responsible, or just 50-50 hip hop with black people. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Remember, I've been debunked that. I'm like, if that's the dumbest thing, because Fat Joe came in the 90s and I said that all the other so-called, there was no Puerto Rican rappers in the 70s and 80s, and Fat Joe came in the 90s and he was riding the coattails of black rappers. So my thing is, if hip hop was 50-50, then where's your Puerto Rican LL Cool J? Where's your Puerto Rican Big Daddy Kane? Where's your Puerto Rican Run DMC? Where's your Puerto Rican Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5? You're supposed to have equal what we got. So if you ain't got equal to what we got, then you can't be 50-50 nothing. All these people are indigenous American men. I'm describing indigenous American men. And that term indigenous American only belongs to so-called black people. Indigenous American only belongs to so-called black people. You see, that's all that term belongs to. It don't belong to these Mongolians, because again, if we just found that the oldest living fossil or person here in the Americas was a so-called black woman, then that means so-called black people are indigenous to America. They're not African. That's that whole African thing, and we all come from Africa. That's a load of BS. That is a load of BS. That whole we all African and we're not African. American black people are not African. They are Indians. They are American Indians, American indigenous people. I don't know why people are afraid to say that. I don't know why people are afraid to own that, but that's the truth. You see, this woman right here should shut the mouth of all these fake Native Americans who claiming that we from Africa. No, man, we ain't from no damn Africa. You want us to be from Africa so that you could steal our American indigenous culture and heritage, which they've done. They looked at a lot of our stuff. Again, that's like if we let these if we let a lot of these Latinos come up here and start talking about, oh, hip hop is 50-50. Next thing you know, oh, y'all ain't had nothing to do with hip hop. Hip hop was started by Latinos. Then we let that fall, we let that go for like 20, 30 years, 40 years. Next thing you know, when you get somebody trying to rhyme, oh, that's a Latino thing. You trying to rap like Latinos. Hip hop was started by Latinos. Just like people forgot the fact that country music was started by black people. The mothers and fathers of the so-called fathers, what do you call the mothers and fathers of country music, the Carters and all these other people, I forget what the other people's name was. They told us that they was taught by American indigenous people how to play guitar, country guitar, and do all this stuff. So all that music comes back to the American indigenous people, us. We have to accept that we are indigenous to America and not no place else. Nobody brought us from Africa. We didn't come from Africa into America. We were already here. So my thing is this: if you say we all have origins in Africa, origins where? That's a very broad statement to make. We all got origins here. And I'm gonna say some asshole from last week. I'm gonna call you an asshole just because you was being an asshole. Some guy telling me, oh, Nuben look like he African. Nuben got an African forehead. What the hell is an African forehead? You always get these trolls. I don't got no damn African forehead. What is an African forehead? What I do have is a head full of hair at 53 years old, full head of hair. I can grow an afro, grow braids all down. My hair still grows. And I got an indigenous American hairline. I got the indigenous American hair. I could still get shape-ups and everything. I get haircuts and everything. I'm going to probably get me a haircut next week. Next time you see me, I'll be all cut up. I let my hair just grow out. I can grow an afro and everything. I ain't got no African forehead. What the hell is that? Y'all listen to too much Tariq Nasheed, man. Tariq Nasheed's going to tell you that we are black-skinned people and we are a race of black people. My skin is not black. Your skin is not black. Nobody's skin is black. Okay. So when somebody say to him, well, if white is a classification of the government, then black is too. So then if white is a classification that of the government, which people are allowed to wear from foreign places, then that goes right back to what I said, that the immigrants are white. And any place, the immigrants are the people that come from other places, starting with the Caucasians, like I said, who are not American, starting with the Asians and everybody else who came from someplace else. The only people who have always been here who did not come from any place else is us. We've always been here. How you going to talk about like this clown, Toronto Johnson? I got to keep bringing back with Toronto Johnson. Yeah, I'm not saying our people wasn't here, but you ain't those people. Who the hell is he to say anything about anybody? Who is this clown? He right now, he's showing, not to get off on this clown, but right now he just showed that he's just the Tasha K. He's just the Tasha K of Moorish science. Because this nigga's over here now doing the Diddy gossip. That's what a lot of these people are now. They sit up here talking about some goddamn Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Who cares? Does anybody care about this for real? Or are they trying to make you care about this? Kendrick Lamar, Drake, I ain't never listened to none of their music, and no disrespect to nobody, but I really don't care to. And and talking about Diddy and his damn sex case. Who cares? Who cares? But this is the stuff y'all want to listen to. This is what people talk about. I'm not trying to be popular. I talk about real things, man. And the realest thing I can say to my people is that we are the real American indigenous people. So moving on to the next topic. Luzia, as they call it, has proved it. We are the American indigenous people. Simple as that. We are indigenous to America only. So-called Black Americans, we are indigenous to America only. So we need to cut the crap. We need to go back to Africa, a place we never been, letting people con you out of being who you are as the real Americans. Because I told you before, our nationality is, or I should say our internationality is American. And we came with the word American. We are the only real Americans. Nobody else is American but except so-called Black people in America whose family goes back to slavery and all this other stuff. And let's just be fair. Everybody wasn't no damn slave. Knock it off. Everybody wasn't a slave. Knock it off. Oh, let me ask it. I'll answer these questions. Like I said, because I'm going to make this the most realist and rawest as I can get. Because, when I say raw, we just tell the truth, tell it as it is. Like I said, how many of y'all would like to come see me in Atlanta? I'm going to do something in Atlanta the last part of June. Next time I come back on, I'm going to put up something. How much of y'all want to hear the real raw and uncut things and whatnot? Stuff I can't say on YouTube, and even into the alteration of our way of thinking. How many people would like to come out to Atlanta and support a conference that I do? Because I'm only going to do this conference if people are going to purchase tickets in advance, because we're going to do tickets. We're going to rent a venue and I'm going to speak and whatnot for, we're going to have merchandise and stuff there. And it's going to be the realest talk you've ever had. The realest talk, the realest thoughts that have ever been shared. And I'm looking for the people who are real thinkers. I don't want people who are believers come and listen to me. I don't want that. I don't want believers. I want thinkers, people who can actually think, to come listen, to have themselves enlightened, as I say, more than enlightened and brightened onto a higher level of thinking. Because we as intelligent people, I would like to think that intelligent people are listening to my broadcast. I would like to think that the intelligent people are listening to this broadcast and not a bunch of ignorant ones. I mean, the ignorant do slip in at times, like the person that said I was African and all so you get the trolls. I don't care. Right, whatever. Right. Next topic I want to discuss is racism. Now, I wanted to discuss this topic because I see guys like Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, whatever, and they always talking about these racist Caucasians, like Bill Maher, Bill Maher, what's the white so-called white supremacists and stuff like that. And I look at these guys. Some guy they had, it's a guy's name was Ben Shapiro. I just listen to the names they say, and I look at how these guys look, and I'm like, who really cares? They tell me because they supposed to be white supremacists and they feel they supreme because they got pale skin and whatnot, and blah blah blah, and they feel like they should have the right because they should have the right to use the N-word, and they want to basically dominate the planet, and which includes dominating so-called Black people, the real American indigenous people, the real Americans. They feel like as white people, which was a term that was created in Virginia. It's not even white people is not even a real term. White people was created in Virginia by a Caucasian male in the 1600s named Bleckley. His name was Bleckley. He came with that term in the 1600s of white people because he was trying to build a mob of Europeans to be an army for what they were trying to do, which was take over America from the indigenous people. So he needed because all these Europeans started coming over here. Well, it was gradually coming over here. Some of them owed debts and things like that. And they would work off their debts. So he tried to build an army of what he called white people, right? And that's where the term white people came from. White people is not even a race. But anyway, he talks about these guys like Bill Maher, Ben Shapiro, and all these, so-called white supremacists. I don't call them supremacists. I call them degenerates. I call them, degenerates, white degenerates, because their whole stance is really tucked behind an inferiority complex. Their whole stance is based behind an inferiority complex. They want to have the right to so-called be dominant, but let's just be for real. They know damn well they can't dominate no so-called black men face to face. They ain't dominating no so-called black men. They're not going to call no so-called black men niggas to their faces like they want to. They're not going to sit up here and talk none of the racist shit they say. They're not going to walk up to the average black man and say it. They don't have the balls to. So all that's based in an inferiority complex. You know, like how a bunch of punks join gangs. You get a lot of punks that join gangs because as individuals, they punks. So what happens is a bunch of punks form a gang, bunch of soft ass dudes form gangs, and they start acting like they the toughest and the baddest and this, that, and the third. And they want to dominate and they want to run things. But keep in mind, it's all based in an inferiority complex. So when you hear people like Bill Maher with his pale ass, dog fur, when you hear people like your Ben Shapiro saying pale ass, dog hair, again, never let these people forget where they come from. These people just say from some of their most wisest and intellectual person, Darwin, he said that they come from monkeys. He said that mankind, which is your Asians, your East Indians, your Caucasians, all those people with the straight hair, that they come from monkeys. That's mankind. We ain't nowhere on that chart yet. They always say we look like monkeys. They always say we look like monkeys, but in the new Planet of the Apes movie and in the old Planet of the Apes movies, y'all know those white people playing those characters. Ain't no black people playing those characters. Those are all white people. And look how nice they said it. No disrespect to anybody, but they always saying we look like monkeys, but we ain't got straight hair, we ain't got thin lips, and we ain't got pale skin. Monkeys do, and white people do, and Asian people do, and all that. And they might feel insulted by it, but they playing the apes and Planet of the Apes. We ain't playing the apes. We ain't playing the apes. You see, we ain't playing the monkeys. And Charles Darwin said that's where they come from. He didn't never put us in the evolutionary chart. This is one of their renowned scientists, and they never let that go. They even acknowledged that they got the rhesus monkey gene in them. So if they got the rhesus monkey gene in them, how they gonna sit here and call us monkeys? We ain't got no rhesus monkey gene. We ain't got straight hair. We got woolly, this beautiful woolly crown. I just like my beautiful woolly crown. I picked it out nice today. I picked out my beautiful woolly crown. Love my hair. I ain't gonna let it grow too long. I'm gonna probably get a line up and bring in the size a little bit. You know, I love my crown. I don't want my hair to be straight. I like my hair. You see, I like my hair. I got all of my hair and pretty much all of my teeth. I like my skin. I like everything. I don't want to be no lighter. You know, no thank you. So when I see these people up here trying to put these people on the pedestal, these white degenerates who call themselves supremacists. I can't call them supremacists. I call them degenerates. And I'm not trying to diss all so-called white people. I'm not dissing everybody, but you know, I'm talking about these people who want to call themselves supremacists. You know, these are just people hiding behind an inferiority complex. Like I said, probably got, you know, they probably short down there in their pants section, short in the pants section, they little PPs, right? They see a so-called black man and they scared half the time. They scared. You see, they feel intimidated. See, because that's really what racism is based on. People who are really inferior themselves. Because again, how do you call a person with pale skin, recessive genetics, and straight like animal fur dominant over a person with dark, rich skin, woolly crown, strong features? How are they more dominant than the people who are obviously genetically dominant? Bronze people, American indigenous people, are genetically dominant. That's just a fact. We genetically dominant. So how are you gonna say that we inferior to them? Oh yeah, of course, if they gang up on you like they always do, they got the police, the army, you know, all the help they call for, people like Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher and all the rest of the so-called white degenerates. I mean, so-called supremacists. You know, I might call them white inferiorists, right? White inferiority, because that's all white supremacy is white inferiority flipped inside out. That's all. The real mindset is white inferiority, because again, when you got people who are weak, they try to do anything to make themselves look strong. And the fact that you got to try to make yourself look strong makes you even look weaker. Like, you know how a guy try to act cool, you know what I'm saying? He try to act all cool and like he down, and it doesn't come out natural. It don't flow with him. He look more like a clown when he trying to be cool and he trying to be down. That's the same way these guys look when they call themselves white supremacists. They look lame as hell. They look lame. They try to have some real talking points about what they teach. And basically, they making up shit, lying, making up fake statistics. Always got to talk about the so-called black man and the black woman and whatever the case may be. Whatever, man. These are nothing but a bunch of weak, mealy mouth, bitch made. Let me just say it, bitch made white boys, bitch made, who would not dare to come up to a real man and talk that crazy stuff. I would like them to go up to a so-called black man and call him a nigga, because they would like to do that and not get their ass whooped. You see, because that's when you get to see who the real man is. When a real man can face you face to face, just hands, no weapons, just hands, just straight up. When a real man can face you face to face, and if he got the balls to call you a nigga with just his hand, with nothing in his hand, not no hide, no gun, like a coward, but really do it and suffer the consequences. No, they would never do that. So what they do is hide behind newspapers, blogs, 4chan, all the bullshit ass sites, and talk all that BS, because they cowards. They're cowards. I don't have no respect for them. Just like I don't got no respect for so-called black people, because I'm gonna let you know, people would call me a racist, but I'm a realist. I don't have respect for black people who do the same thing. You see, black or white, who do the same thing. Black men who hide behind gangs and all this other nonsense, and gangsterism and all that other stuff, when you really just cowards. Because again, the penitentiary is full of gangbangers and white supremacists, and all y'all motherfuckers ain't going nowhere. Y'all all wish y'all was free. You locked up in jail, a lot of you guys. But like I said, the world is full of these so-called people who think they bad, who think they tough. And it's only a belief, who think they superior. You're not superior, because the fact that you have to claim that you're so superior and supreme makes you look even weaker. See, the strongest people in the room don't have to say it. It's felt. Y'all got to say it. You got to try to, make personalities out of yourselves in doing it, and which makes you even more weak. When I was putting these guys up there, I'm like, y'all really wasting time talking about these fucking clowns? Excuse my language. These guys are clowns, man. They just want attention, like hoes. They attention hoes. That's why they talk all that white supremacist shit. That ain't nothing but attention. That's a bunch of attention monger. That's all that is. All right. It's like they really in a matrix, because the matrix is just this maternal system. But I'm gonna say that for my broadcasting, like the matrix is really the maternal system that a lot of these people are caught up in. And a lot of them got feminine energy on them. They got feminine energy, which is, should I say female energy on them, which makes them want to be better than other people. I'm better than you, you're better than me, and this and the third. Be better unto yourself. Mama, revisit that. A lot of feminine energy here, both on the black and white side. A lot of feminine energy. So let me see. That's why, like I said, the black and white conversation. That's why, I used to listen to all the black stuff. But I gotta just say this: I despise black people just as much as I despise white people. I despise them equally. I gotta say it. I can't say I despise one group and not despise the other. That's why I asked that question. Where do you fit in when you don't like black people or white people? Where do you fit in at? I guess you got your own lane. When I say I don't like black and white people, I don't like the circular conversation. You see, because that again, that's just a title, black and white. Those are just governmental titles. But I don't like the black and white conversation because it's just circular talk. Like whether it's the YouTubers, the popular YouTubers like Jason Black, the Black Authority, Tariq Nasheed, all the popular people. And no shots at them, no disrespect, but all the black and white talk is just circular babble, man. Because people been talking about black and white for years and years and years, and it's always a lot of circular talk, man. I don't like circular talk. I don't like hearing about people's problems and hang-ups and racism. Who cares what you don't like? Like, people are born into this world. It's hard enough getting through this three-dimensional existence without having to deal with people who are trying to stand in your way for you just trying to live. It's always like I say, just leave people alone. Let people live their life. As long as they're not bothering you, leave people alone. But you're going to have certain people that have a problem with leaving people alone because they are disturbed. They have a problem with not disturbing the peace of others because they're not peaceful in their way of thinking. Their mindset is not at peace. That's why you got all these racists out here worrying about black people, worrying about what are we going to do about black people. You ain't going to do shit about black people, so-called black people. Nothing. Ain't nothing to be done. Just like we ain't going to do nothing about white people. People just living their life, man. Just living their life. There's nothing to be done. So like I said, I don't like the circular talk. I'm always looking for straight lines, straight and direct lines to a solution to a problem. That's what I'm always looking for. I don't like circular talk. You see, and that's all black and white is. It's meant to it's never going to be a solution to the circular talk. Okay. All right. So I already answered that question about black people moving to Africa. Hell no. Why the hell are you moving to Africa for? This is your country. You are indigenous to this land. You did not come from no African monkeys. And I already heard Tariq Nasheed say this stuff about, I know my ancestry is in Africa and whatnot. Why do you believe that, Tariq Nasheed? Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that you got ancestry in Africa? And I'm not asking, this is just a hypothetical. Why do people even believe that all black people come from Africa? Why do you believe that? That's just a belief that was just a philosophy of the so-called white man. He wants to believe that we all come from one place, so-called black people. He called us, we all come from one place in Africa, or that all life started in Africa. That is a theory. That is a theory. That is not a fact. That is a theory. Tariq Nasheed was on his show just talking about, I think he was talking about there was a so-called Native American burial ground somewhere out here and down south, somewhere, I forget what it was. And y'all might want to refresh me with that. Somewhere they found in this Native American burial ground, there was a bunch of so-called black people. They called it a Native American today. They use the term Native American, an American Indian burial ground. And all they found was so-called black people there. And they hurried up, stopped talking about that. There was no mongoloid looking people with straight hair that crossed the Bering Straits. There was no Caucasian people. It was all so-called black people in those burial grounds that they termed to be Native American. That nobody said nothing about that. But it's time for us to come out the damn closet. Look, man, we're the American Indians, man. Can we stop with the black African American? I cringe when I hear that. Can we stop with the African American nonsense? All y'all people that drunk the Kool-Aid, the African American Kool-Aid. And y'all sitting up here believing that we from Africa, yet none of you niggas ain't getting up going back to Africa or going to Africa. Nobody's getting up going to Africa. Y'all very comfortable with your European names living in America. You're very comfortable. I don't see none of these people who claim they're African getting up and going back over to Africa. I don't see that, or trying to make roots here. That don't make no sense to me. I hate the whole African American title. I don't like none of those titles. I don't like anything dealing with black. I don't like FBA, all that FBA, A-Dose, A-Dunce, all that black slave nonsense. We were doing way more here before slavery. Slavery is really just a blip on American history. It's a mere blip as opposed to our history, our indigenous history in America as the American indigenous Indians of this world, who are being called so-called black people, African Americans. Our history is rich here in the Americas, and it was only cultivated here in America. It didn't come from Africa because, again, If you saying we come from Africa, where you saying we come from Africa? In the ground, from we popped out of the ground in Africa somewhere? Where at in Africa? Where we just popped out of the ground? Because one piece of land is no different than another piece of land. Why is it that you always taught that, oh, if it's black people, they had to come from someplace else, they had to come from Africa? Come on, man. That's some made up Caucasian lie where they trying to basically place us in one place. Oh, you just had to come from Africa to come over to America. No, we didn't. We was always here. We were always here. And I'm going to go into one of my where did we come from before America? I'm gonna go into that, and I'm gonna do a class in Georgia. I ain't did a class in years, but I'm gonna do a class in Georgia the last part of June. So I'm gonna put up the next high and mighty. I'm gonna put up the thing. People want to come out and see me speak live, raw, and uncut, real, and have a good time, a good intellectual conversation. You know, those of you want to come out and see me live, you can come out and see me live. We're gonna have security and let everybody know. So we ain't letting no white people in. No, let me stop. We ain't letting y'all in there. Y'all ain't gonna be in there. I'm playing. We ain't letting no black people in neither. I don't want no black people coming to see me, and I don't want no white people coming to see me. I want intelligent, bright people coming to see me. That's why I don't. This is. I'm gonna make this clear. This ain't a conference for black people. This ain't a conference for white people. This is a conference for intelligent, bright people. That's who I want to come see me. You see. And the people I deem to be the intelligent, bright people are the people who left the black race behind. Those are the people who left the black race behind. You see, who are more intelligent, who could think past blackness, because they always think we're supposed to think on this single low level of what we could. Okay, like for example, we from Africa, we African Americans, we came on slave ships, reparations. We 40 acres and a mule. Our heroes Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. No. You're not going to hear that BS at my conference. I'm going to tell you the truth about all of those people, the real truth, the logical truth. So if you want to come, I'm going to put the link up. Next time I do the High and Mighty, you can purchase tickets in advance, put your name on the list. It's by invite. Like I said, we need to know who's coming to our conferences. There's going to be security and whatnot. So I'm going to start doing conferences. I think I'm gonna call it from black people to bright people, the extension of higher intelligence, something like that. I got it somewhere down there, but I'm gonna be doing a conference in Atlanta the last part of June. So just hit the link, RSVP is what y'all call it. See if we can bring that out, because we need to talk about our American roots. Again, we need to talk more about our American roots, because we can, as a intelligent people, as a brighter people, get so much done than things that black people couldn't get done. As a brighter people, as a more intelligent people, we can get things done that black people haven't got done, because they're still caught in the matrix, going in rotations with white people. They're still going back and forth, black and white, black and white, black and white. We done with that. The intelligent people have to say enough at a certain point. At a certain point, the intelligent people have to say enough. We have to say enough of the black and white nonsense. Where do we get off at? Because I'm not teaching my daughter that she's black and that she's African American. I'm not teaching my daughters that. I'm not going to teach them lies. I'm not going to teach them that their ancestors came on some damn slave ship, which is a lie. Because a lot of people want to straddle the fence of that whole we came on slave ships nonsense. Yet nobody produced a slave ship. Nobody produced a slave ship. Where's these Africans at? Where they at? Sub-Saharan African. Look, anytime they find out genetics, oh, it's Sub-Saharan African, they Africans. Who calling us that but the so-called white man? He calls the so-called Mongolians, he calls them American Indian, Native American. They're not native to America. But he gets to classify. He gets to classify who's American and who's not. He's not even American. The so-called white man gets to classify who's American. Really? He's European. Come on, man. We the only ones that got roots here. We got to push past blackness. That's the key to everything. And I'm going to talk about pushing past blackness, letting all the stereotypical things of blackness go and the behavior of blackness, because the worst things that have happened to our people here in America have happened once we accepted that term black. Those of you who old enough. Can you remember going back past the 60s and going back in the 50s and 40s and whatnot? You had people coming from decent households and whatnot. People, so-called black people, bronze, as I say, bronze people, bright people. As I saw bronze people, we coming from decent homes, 2-parent homes. Our people were Republicans. They were hardworking. People owned land. People basically were, our people were, real productive people. And then that term black came down. And though I was born after that term, I was born in 1970. When that term black came down, when they was pushing Negro and black on us, it was basically pushing us into a state of poverty, into a state of despair, desperation, crime, things like that, because we were people who didn't know we were. We didn't know that we were American Indians. We didn't know that we were indigenous Americans. Some of our people knew because we listened to our grandmothers tell us the truth about who we was as American Indians, because a lot of times they couldn't do that because they were afraid to, because, you had these Europeans going around here, these immigrants that was walking around here trying to claim themselves to be American. They were walking around. And like I said, I always keep going back to the 1828 Merriam-Webster dictionary of what American means. Y'all better make sure that y'all take those definitions of American, Merriam-Webster, and you better hold on to them, because they're going to change them probably pretty soon. Because in the 1828 Merriam-Webster dictionary, it keeps talking about American, a term that was referred to American by the Aboriginal, or Aboriginal, which is another way of saying indigenous people of this land, the copper-colored races, which we are the copper-colored races. Don't let nobody convince you and tell you your skin is black. Our skin is copper-colored. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Like my daughter say, stop it. Our skin is copper-colored, not black. Okay, we're not no black-skinned people. You got the darkest parts of copper tone, and you got the lighter parts of copper tone, all the way from the yellowish copper tone all the way to the dark. You don't see dark copper pennies. Copper is real dark. We come in shades of copper. They called us copper-colored people, and then later on the term copper came off, and then we became colored people, and then we became Negroes, and then we became black. So you see the evolution, I should say the revolution, the circular back into nothing, or going into nothing. You've seen the de-evolution, I'm gonna call it, of us being copper-colored to colored to Negro to mulatto and all these other stuff to black. That was a downward spiral into darkness, and a lot of people are working to keep us there. I spoke on the scam, the African scam, to try to get our people to go back to Africa, a place we've never been, nor do we have a connection to. Again, if anybody's claiming that they got African ancestry, prove it. Prove that you got African ancestry. You ain't got no African. That's just some lie of white man. So we ain't got no African ancestry. American indigenous people who've been here, whose families go back to slavery, you ain't got no African ancestry. That's a lie. That's a lie. A whole lie. Because we know how the Africans look and how they move, and we know how we move and how we look. All right. So next thing I want to point out is people who are striving for basic things in life. I had a mindset concerning that. Do y'all know that people are trying to get money? I did a broadcast on this last night. People are trying to get money to just to survive, to get over, to get by, to do what? Just to pay bills. I mean, I want y'all to think about that. Why do people want money in this world? They want money in this world, right? They want money in this world to pay bills. They want money in this world just to pay bills. You do know everything in this world is a bill. Somebody say, yeah, we don't even sound like Africans. We don't sound like Africans. We don't. Our music, let me just go back. I'm going to go back to somebody said that's a good point. We don't make the same kind of music Africans make. We don't sound the same. We ain't got the same hairlines. Like Tariq Nasheed was good in pointing that out. I got a straight up American indigenous hairline all the way across. I get lineups, everything. But he made a good point. We don't even have the same. And again, it's no disrespect to Africans. It's not no disrespect to Africans, but we don't have the same, or we don't carry the same energy as the Africans do. And I even said this, you got certain people who, because Africa, for the most part, you got people who are American indigenous people living in Africa who think they African. Remember I said that? You got American indigenous people living in Africa who was transported into Africa, who got roots in America. You got American people who think they African, right? They in Africa, they think they African. You got American people who live in the African places, South Africa, places like that. You got people living there who are not African. You see, and again, the term African is a term the white man came up with. So my question is this: who told you was African? I'll ask all the Pan-Africanists and all this. Who told our people they were African? Who told us that? You going by the fact that you had a whole bunch of so-called black people in Africa. You're pointing this out, and then I said this, Tariq Nasheed he said that FBAs. I just had to go. He said FBAs are half African and half in Native American or indigenous. I guess he was saying half African, half indigenous. But then he talked about hairlines. Okay, so if we come from Africa, shouldn't we have the same hairlines as the Africans? Why don't we have the same hairlines? And if he said there was Native people that was already here, then that means that the majority of our people, if we have a different hairline, that means the majority of our people were already here. So how he coming up with we half African, half American, and I guess that's what that's really what he's trying to say. He's trying to get us back into the African American thing. Because again, no shots at Tariq Nasheed, but you saying we are a mixture of African and American and American indigenous people. So what he's really doing is calling us African American. Y'all see that? When he talks about FBAs, like ask Tariq Nasheed. So you're basically saying that we are African. FBAs are African in origin. We all come from Africa, according to him, and we are American, and we got mixed with the American indigenous people, which I guess he calling it are the Indians, right? So then we are mixed race people. We are. So then what you're saying is we're African American. Y'all see that? No, we are only American. We are only American. Do some people got some African in? Did some Africans get over here into America? Yeah, a sprinkle of them did. A sprinkle of Africans did get over here. And so a sprinkle of them, mixed in with our people. Some of our people have the African genetic and then they mixed in, but it's very few. Very few. Very few. You see, very, very little. Okay. And the mass majority of American indigenous people, so-called black people, we don't have no African genetics. We don't have African in us. You'll see the people who get like things like sickle cell or people who are prone to that. Those people have an African genetic. You see, the people who don't really grow hair like that, because I told you, indigenous American people, we grow hair. We grow hair. We're not bald headed. So maybe some of you bald headed ass black females, some of y'all might have African in y'all. A lot of you bald-headed ass black females, you see, some of y'all got African in y'all. You see, because see, a lot of the real Africans, they don't grow no hair. They can't grow hair because they come from a climate where it's so hot, they don't have any moisturizer in their hair. And if you don't come from a climate or a space that's tropical or has moisture like America, which is full of water and whatnot. Because a lot of places in Africa are dry and barren. Like especially in the West. That's why when they said we come from West Africa, this ain't no West African here. We got full on natural so-called Afro. I don't even like to use the term Afro because that's a misnomer, because Africans really don't grow hair like that. That's their hairlines and everything. You messed up. A lot of times they gotta wear weaves in their hair. Women don't grow hair. So if you are African and you got a lot of hair like that, 9 times out of 10 your hair is natural like that. 9 times out of 10 you're not African. You see, indigenous American people grow hair. We got hairlines, all this stuff. A lot of you so-called black men, a lot of y'all hair, you old school Negroes, y'all hair fell out because y'all was putting that perm and conch in y'all hair and stuff, or you don't have them damn dreads in your head that pulled your hair out of your head. But we naturally just grow hair. Our women have hair. My daughters all got head full of hair. All my daughters got head full of hair. You see, all my daughters, especially my daughter Ray, they all got heads full of hair, and they was born with hair. We ain't born. Our babies ain't born bald headed. American indigenous people don't have babies born bald headed. Caucasian babies be born bald headed. Asians, all of them, a lot of them be born bald headed. Our children come out with a head full of hair. You see, at least mine did. I know mine did. That's the average thing with bronze people. You see, we got hair. That's our distinguishing factor. Like you seen this guy Akon, this clown went over someplace to get a damn indigenous American hairline. He was trying. He had an African hairline. His hairline was going all the way back. He went someplace and got a damn hair transplant to look like us. But then he'll turn around talking, we ain't got no culture. So then why are you trying to copy us? Why are you trying to copy us, Akon? Well, you clearly are an African. And again, it's no disrespect that you are, but a lot of times, like I said, they don't really see themselves as our people, and we're not their people. Our people are American International, American Indigenous International. So, like I said, the people that come with us, we all American International. We're not just American nationally. We American internationally, continental Americans, because the Americas is two continents. You got South America and North America. So you got all these continents of America which we inhabit. You see, the so-called indigenous people, the indigenous American indigenous people, so-called American Indians, the bronze people, so-called black, who are being called black today, the real Indians, the real indigenous people of this land are being lied to and being told they're African, not just by white people, but by so-called black people too. It was this old lady named Lady Boulay on YouTube. She was up here talking about, I don't want to talk to no black Indians. I'm talking to my African American people. I don't want to talk to no black Indian. I'm like, yeah, your name is Lady Boulay. No coincidence, because I said a lot of these Boulays, black male and female, they're the ones that made us drink the African American Kool-Aid. Y'all talk about cults. That's a goddamn cult. Calling yourself an African American. If that's not cultish, you can sit up here, people calling you after a continent. Why you don't never call white people European Americans? Why don't you ever call them European Americans? I wonder why. Why is that? Answer, because like in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which goes back to 1828, they've been trying to steal our identity as Americans. The Europeans who came over here, who became white people, they've been trying to steal our identity since they got to America. They've been trying to steal our identity, calling themselves American. You see, calling themselves American, taking on the title American, which came from us, a title that they stole from us. A culture, the heritage they stole from, then tell y'all niggas from Africa, we bought you on slave ships. That is the most diabolical and degenerate thing you can do, to deprive a people of their history and then teach lies in history books. This is why I say, when I told that guy, Sonnet, I don't read these books like that. I don't get into the books. A lot of lies in the books, man, especially when it comes to history. All right. This next one's going to be controversial because we'll wrap this up soon. Is the liberated black female the real school to prison pipeline? I had to ask this question because there's a certain YouTuber, female, I'm not going to say her name. She talked all about her son going to jail, and don't nobody say about her son going to jail. And she was talking about the school to prison pipeline, and how these black children are forced to move from school to prison and whatnot. And it's a setup and it's a conspiracy. Oh, but then her son I think he went back to jail, right? And she don't want to talk about that. You know why? Because these households are being run by liberated black females, and there's no men in the house to ride roughshod over the boys, because boys need to have fathers. Boys need to have men raising them. Okay. Boys need to have men raising them. I'm gonna just say, like, a woman cannot raise a boy. I don't give a damn who don't like what I just said. When a boy get past a certain age, his mother can't do nothing for him. After she done wiped him off, cleaned him off, and changed his diaper, he get to a certain point, she can't do nothing with him no more. That's where his father's supposed to be taking over. His father's supposed to be getting him, taking him to go get a haircut, talk to him, rein him in, talk to him about females, talk to him about life, about what it is he gonna be expected to be as a man. That's why I want a son so bad. I got these 4 girls. I want a son so bad. You know, any of you women out there ready to help me? I'm just playing. My wives will kill me, but maybe they won't. Maybe I don't care. But anyway, I want a son so bad. You know, I would like a son. You know, but if I don't, I said I was gonna have 2 more children to make it even at 6 children. I was gonna stop having children. If I don't get a son out of that, then I guess I'll have to be around for my grandsons. I know my daughter's gonna have sons. You know, so it is what it is. I would like at least 1 boy. You know, I'd be happy, man. I'm happy, and don't get me twisted. I'm happy with my daughters. I love my daughters. But back to the school to prison pipeline, when you got a bunch of females trying to act like males and trying to raise boys, they're gonna get off into them streets, man. They're gonna get off into the streets. Okay, they're gonna get off into them goddamn streets. They're gonna get off into being gang members and gang. They're gonna get off into all kinds of trouble because no man is there to ride roughshod over them. My father raised me. My father raised me and my brother and 2 sisters. He raised all 4 of us. My mother and father raised us. So I had a father at home that would kick my ass. Like literally, he would put his foot up my ass. Literally, if I did something wrong, he'd beat the shit out of me. My father, my father was the real James Evans. You see, my father, I had a real James Evans in my house. You know. And he scared everybody to death. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it is. But it kept me out of trouble. He kept me out of trouble. I wasn't going out getting locked up at 12 and 13 years old, going through the system. No, I didn't start getting caught up in crime until I got in my 20s. And even then, I steered my way out of it because of the things my father taught me and my mother taught me, but especially my father as a man, you know, certain things, you know, where I stayed out of trouble, he was always working and things like that. So yeah, shout out to my father. You know, he's still here. You know, shout out to you, Pop. Shout out to you, Mother. My mother too. Very instrumental in my development and keeping the limited bit of trouble I got in was limited. So, right. So why I say that is because when you put people out here, when you don't have men in place to keep control over the children, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get them getting misled by the so-called OGs. You know, them old niggas that hang around on the block. You know, them old niggas that hang around on the block talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Niggas done been in and out of jail, right? And they trying to get other people wrapped up in criminality and stuff like that because they done messed their life up. So they see the young homie, the little homie, so they want the little homie to get messed up with them instead of telling the little homie, look, you don't want to go to jail, little homie. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to get no record. You don't want to be, you know, in and out of the penal system being used up like a hoe. But that's all you niggas in jail are. Y'all nothing but hoes, man. That's how the white man views you. I don't care if you white, black, or y'all nothing but hoes in the penitentiary, man. Got y'all mopping up the damn jail, doing dishes. You niggas, how you niggas go from selling drugs, y'all making millions of dollars, dancing on the club like monkeys and shit. How you niggas go through all that? Next thing you know, you niggas trying to get on the damn prison, on the damn prison lunch program to serve food to niggas for $22 an hour, whatever they giving y'all. So y'all can have money in your commissary, or you want to have the mop, you want to mop up and whatnot. Y'all, they make you niggas do jobs in jail that you wouldn't do in the street. So where's the gangster at? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all niggas ain't gangsters. Real dudes stayed out of jail. You don't get you get points for staying out of jail. You don't get points for going to jail. That's a womp womp. No, and no disrespect. I'm not making fun of guys that's in jail, but you know, I mean, like, I'm sorry, man. Ain't no money worth me going to jail. I'm not going to jail. No jail. Ain't no money worth me going to jail. I took all the chance I'm gonna take in my life. I'm done. I can't. You know, I like women too much. I don't want to be around a bunch of niggas. But anyway, or a bunch of crackers, or a bunch of crackers, or whoever's in there. No, thank you. All right. Yeah. So the prison to school pipelines. A lot of these black liberated females who think they could raise boys out here, who end up losing your sons to the streets because you think that you're not, y'all not worthy to raise, y'all just don't have it in you to raise children like that, like sons like that. You don't have it. You see, you just don't. Right? You have to have a man in place. Right? I had to ask back to this thing. I forgot to really reiterate this. Why are we striving for basic things in life? I had to ask that. Why are we striving for basic shit in life? What do you strive for in life? I talked about this on the radio, bro, because I want to extend it a little more with this thought. Because this is high and mighty thoughts after all. I ain't really smoking. I'm just talking, but I gotta smoke. What do people really strive for in this world? We chase money, and I got this yesterday. We chase money to pay bills. You do know that. That's all your money is for, is to pay bills. So why do y'all sit up here and act like money is such a big thing when all you're doing is paying bills with it? Everything is a bill. Your car is a bill. You know, whether you are paying a car note, even if you own it outright, you got to pay insurance. You got to put gas in the car, right? You got to maintain it. That's a bill. Car breakdown, you got to get it fixed. You got to pay rent, or you got to pay a mortgage, right? And if you own a home outright, let's just say you own your place outright, you got to, if you got a damn house, you got to pay property tax. You see, if you in certain places like in Virginia and other places, you know, you got to pay property tax and things. You got to pay all this stuff on you. You got to pay property tax on your car. So basically, you got to pay lights and gas. If you got a woman, that's a bill. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, Destiny's Child made a song about that. Bills, bills, bills. Can you pay my telephone bill? Can you pay my this bill, that bill? They made a song about it. All right? They made a song about it. Bills, bills, bills. So my thing is, why are we striving to pay bills? You know, I get it. You see, I get it. You know, why are we striving to pay bills? We striving to pay bills. That's all you doing. All that you think you getting ahead in life, you getting money and stuff like that. I did a good broadcast. Subscribe to my Patreon channel, because that show is going to be on there. It's going to be on my MENTELLECT Patreon. Subscribe, please, to MENTELLECT Patreon. Only $15 a month. And subscribe to my MENTELLECT Patreon women's channel. Some of the realest things I could tell women are on that channel. So subscribe to MENTELLECT, MENTELLECT. And by the way, I want to say that there was the guy who was trying to use the word MENTELLECT. This clown was trying to use the word MENTELLECT, and what he was trying to put across, he was talking about some black relationship, some bullshit. But anyway, I had to shut that down. Right? This guy no longer is using the word MENTELLECT. YouTube made him take it off because I told you before, I own the rights to the word MENTELLECT. 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 That was a form of higher intelligence, higher thinking that I introduced to the world in the year 2010. And I own the copyrights for the word MENTELLECT and print. That means books, magazines, anything. I own the trademark for the word MENTELLECT in print and all kinds of in audio. Like I'm doing these recordings and I'm doing my broadcast. I own the rights to the word MENTELLECT and all of those things. Right? I own the rights to the word MENTELLECT in audio and visual and all this stuff. So, and I've been owning this for years. So why is this guy? Because I was on Tafart Begay's show. When I was on Toronto Johnson's show, he must have heard me use the term MENTELLECT. And this nigga get the bright idea to steal the word I was using after I clearly said that I introduced MENTELLECT to the world. Why would you then take the word and then spell it out like I spelled it on Toronto? I forgot who this clown name is. He took the word, he took it down. YouTube made him take it down because once I presented my trademark to the ownership of the word MENTELLECT, which I introduced in the year 2010, he had to take it down. But this nigga was sitting up here acting like, and that's really sad and pathetic. You want to sit up here and try to build a whole another level of thinking off of another man's intellectual property. I said when I was on more Horish World TV, that's why I call it Horish World TV, because this nigga over there doing exposés on Diddy now. It's Horish World TV doing whole babble now. He went full whole babble now, Toronto Johnson. That nigga went full whole babble over there at Horish World TV. But anyway, this guy's gonna steal the word and try to use and introduce it. And my people And the community told them, yo, take that down. Why are you using the word mentellect? So anybody using that word mentellect, it's going to be striked on your channel. And it's going to be taken down. Don't use my intellectual property. That's a word I introduced into the public in 2010, and I own the trademark to it. I wrote a book on Mentellect. I got the Mentellect book, which I'm gonna put the link up there. I'm about to print more of these books. I'll start selling books and everything. So again, that deals with the higher intelligence of man and woman. Who is man and woman? Man and woman, natural man and natural woman, the real man and real woman is the so-called black man and black woman, the ones who are not in darkness. See, a lot of our people are in darkness right now. They're in a state of ignorance. So a lot of people are not going to come along, but it's okay. But I'm saying we striving for basic things. We got to stop striving for the basic things. You're supposed to have a big home or a beautiful home. You're supposed to have a vehicle. You're supposed to have money. You're supposed to have these things. So to get these things should not be seen as nothing big. When I did the broadcast the other night about being comfortable versus being rich or poor, that was the realest thing I did. I want y'all to go. That's going to be on my Mentellect Patreon. Y'all can go back and hear to listen to. Go to the Mentellect Patreon. It's only $15 a month. Don't let the money, rule you. Because again, you paying for real things. You paying to hear real things. See, I like to listen to things that make me, get my mental senses going. I don't like listening to bull crap. That's why when I hear a lot of this stuff on, I don't want to hear about no black and white talk. That's circular babble, man. Black and white is circular babble. You feed more white people by giving them energy, going back and forth with them. You feed them more than they feed you. Ain't nobody, you black people, y'all losing with this black thing. Man. Y'all need to cut out this black shit, man. Really. Cut this black talk out. Cut out being black altogether. Let's just stop being black altogether. Now, I know I said this before. I'm going to say it again. Just like at one point in time, we wasn't called black people. We should really just push to that point right now, because all we doing is feeding white. All we doing is feeding whiteness, and I'm tired of feeding whiteness. Me, myself, I'm tired of it. So, we should stop striving for basic things that we're supposed to have. We're supposed to be living comfortably. We're supposed to have nice homes and beautiful families and beautiful spouses and whatnot. And that's what I'm pushing our people to do. A segment of our people who want to be comfortable, who have the intelligence to collectively, because we have to live this collectively as a community. We can't live it as individuals, because you need to have people that you can connect to and talk to, and people who have a higher way of thinking. You need to, connect with people like that mentally. All right. So we need to, we have greater things to strive for more than the basic things in life. Right. Let me see. I'm about to finish this up. Right. I think I touched on everything. I'm looking at all my topics. Yeah, I think I'm done. I'll be coming up with more topics. I make sure I do these every 6 days or so. I usually come out and do them. But let me know in the comment section. Would y'all want to come? Would y'all be interested in coming to see me in Atlanta? If I did something, I think it's going to be called. What's the thing? Because I'm about to close out in a minute. If y'all be interested in seeing me in Atlanta, I'm gonna have a name for it, from black people to bright people. I forgot what the tagline was after that, but what was it? Anybody got it? I forgot what I said I was gonna do. I said from black people to bright people. It's gonna be a good conference and whatnot. It's gonna make our people think. See if they can think outside the box, because you've been in a mental box, in a matriarchal box, I should say. You get a lot of people to think outside that. See. All right. So let's put the comment section, because I'm about to close out in a minute. I done touched on all my topics. All right. So that's it. If you're interested in coming to see me in Atlanta, we're going to do an American indigenous thing, something, a conference, from black people to bright people, because it's time that we wake up mentally to who we are. It's time we wake up to where we're going as a people, as an indigenous American people, because see, the real ones are, but we ain't going nowhere, man. It's our goddamn home, man. This is our country. We was here before everybody came in. Don't let nobody con you into getting a one-way ticket to Africa. Don't let nobody con you into getting a one-way ticket to Africa, because that's all it is a goddamn con. But I don't think I have nothing else to say. if y'all interested in coming to a conference, I'm gonna do in Atlanta in June. I'm gonna have the link for it up. I'm only gonna charge maybe like $15, $20. I stopped doing the tours and doing the little conferences because I got so busy. I became a father. But I want to get out here and just spread my wings again and really just. And plus, I done dropped this weight off my frame, as you can see. I done dropped the weight. I'm wearing white and everything, and I done dropped the weight off my frame. I'm feeling good and everything. I'm living my next life. I'm not living my best life. I'm living my next life. I dropped all that weight off my frame. My face. I ain't gonna front. I was all fat and flabby. I had the fat face and the glasses couldn't fit all stretching across my damn face. I had the puffy face. I had all that salt, and I had to drop all that salt and detox my body. And I literally I shed so much weight, as you can see. You go back a month ago, man. I was just like, again, little concoction I've been making and drinking and working out and doing all this stuff. And just, not even doing no heavy workout, but just getting myself together, man, because I got 4 girls to raise. I got a community to build. I want to lead my people, the righteous ones of my people, the bright ones of my people, the intelligent ones of my people, the thinking ones of my people into a divine and an extended future, an intelligent future where we no longer have to keep revisiting blackness. And that's it. So we're going to have the links up. Join the Republic of America. We're going to start putting the links up on the next one. I promise you, all the links are going to be up to Unlimited Epics. So you can purchase a book, or you can go over to unlimitedepics.com and purchase the Unlimited Heroes and whatnot, and the superheroes and sheroes, representing both men and women, heroes that look like us with real storylines and things like that, keeping it real and all of that. We're going to, I'm going to do something in June, definitely the end of June. So I'm going to start promoting it next time I come on, which will be 6 days from now. I'm going to start promoting the conference in Atlanta. I'm going to probably do one in Atlanta. If this one jumps off, I'll do another one probably in New York, one in Los Angeles, and get one little tour going, something like that, do something. But we're going to definitely have a good time, definitely extend our minds. Again, subscribe to MENTELLECT Patreon. Subscribe to the MENTELLECT Patreon women's channel for you women out there who want to hear real talk on how you women need to conduct yourselves from a real man. Because I am a real man. Ask my wives, they'll tell you. All right. And subscribe to the Ethnic American channel. That's Sister Enra Vanzetta, part of our community. Subscribe to the Wise Men channel. That's Enra Brother Jania's channel, part of our community. These are my spawns, my, people, that walk with me, people who are spawned to a higher level of intelligence as well. Great thinkers, intelligent people. That's all I want around me. All I want is intelligent people. I don't want no dumbass people around me telling me, we black people. Yeah, see, we got black skin. We black people. I don't want no black people around me. I don't want no black people around me or no white people. I want just bright people around me, intelligent people around me. That's all. I'm going to be doing my broadcast tonight, but I'm sporadic with it, what time I'm going to do it. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to miss it. So just check me out on, check it out on MENTELLECT Patreon. And I'm going to have some extra added bonuses on MENTELLECT Patreon for the people who want to, the people who want to hear the talk. I'm going to have that. So and that's it. I'm going to close out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. Also, I'm going to be talking, I'm going to go in more depth about, who we are, that we're not actually part of the human race, that we're part of the Amen race, so-called black people. We're actually a different species altogether, from white, Asian, Eastern, all people to straight here. I'm going to go deeper into that and break it down and prove it in June. So stay tuned for that. So that's it. Closing out. Play a little bit of music. Good night. Lonnie Liston. Let me know in the comment section if y'all would be interested in coming to a conference I do, a live conference. You could ask me any question you want to ask me. Let me know. You see, we dealing with higher intelligence, fourth dimensional intelligence. We dealing with that. So come on out.